My brother slept with my girlfriend of 3 years, got her pregnant before we even broke up, and secretly married her at a courthouse while I was away at college. Later, he called me laughing and said, "You snooze, you lose." She picked the better brother. That was the day I cut them both out of my life for good. I was 21 when it happened, junior at Stanford. Lenora was my first real love. Brilliant, funny, headed to med school. We'd been together since high school, making long-distance work. We had a 5-year plan. Graduate, get jobs, she'd finish med school, marry, start our lives. Brock was 2 years younger, at community college. The comparison was always there, unspoken, but obvious. Christmas break of my junior year, Brock announced he was keeping Lenora company while I studied. She must get lonely with you gone all the time. I actually thanked him for being thoughtful. The signs were everywhere. Lenora stopped answering calls quickly. Her voice grew distant. In February, she flinched when I touched her shoulder. The call came on a Thursday in March. "I'm pregnant. It's Brock's. We've been seeing each other since Christmas. I'm sorry, but I love him. I'm marrying him next week." Click. 3 years compressed into 90 seconds and a dial tone. I called Brock the next morning. He was laughing. "She told me she'd been faking it with you for months. Said you were boring. You snooze. You lose, big brother." When I confronted him at our parents' house, he shrugged. "Get over it." Mom and dad stood there, said nothing. I walked out and didn't speak to them for months. Moved away. Built a new life. Met Maria. Had my daughter Sabine. Brock and Lenora had 2 sons, Tobin and Caleb. I sent cards with cash when they were born. Never signed them. 25 years passed. Then 3 years ago, dad got pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. Months, not years. We met at a diner. He looked gray, dying. I should have said something when Brock did what he did. That nothing has been eating at me for almost 30 years like its own cancer. Then he told me everything. Brock didn't just steal Lenora. He systematically controlled her. Dad saw bruises on her arms, wrists, once on her face covered with makeup. He'd heard raised voices. Lenora crying. Brock's voice low and threatening. Dad confronted Brock once. Brock threatened to cut them off from the grandkids entirely, so Dad stayed quiet. But he'd been documenting everything. Dad found evidence that Brock had intercepted letters from Lenora to me in the year after they married. At least 3, begging me to understand what really happened, to come find her, to help her escape. Brock had kept them like trophies in his garage. Dad found them, along with Brock's journal detailing his entire plan to steal Lenora. Nothing spontaneous. Premeditated theft. And then the worst part. Alfred, Lenora's younger brother, had figured out the abuse, confronted Brock, threatened to help Lenora leave. 2 weeks later, Alfred was dead. Hiking accident, they said. Fell from a cliff. But Brock had been on that trail that same day. Witnesses saw them arguing near the cliff edge. Dad had found threatening text messages from Brock to Alfred. "Mind your own business or something bad might happen." Dad spent years documenting everything. Put copies in his safety deposit box. Gave evidence to a district attorney with instructions to wait until after the funeral. "When the time comes," Dad said, sliding me a manila envelope, "make this right." Dad died on a Tuesday. The funeral was Saturday. At the reception, my daughter tried to make me reconcile with Brock. "Whatever happened was almost 30 years ago. Let it go." She led me to their table, made small talk. Then she looked at me expectantly. That's when I said it. "I know what you did to Alfred." Both their faces drained of color. Every single thing. And Dad knew too. He made sure the right people would find out when the time came. The reception hall went dead silent. I walked out. An hour later, Mom called sobbing. I told her to check Dad's safety deposit box. Lenora called next. "What did your father tell you?" "Everything." Silence. Then, "Thank you." Brock's son Tobin called. "Is it true?" "Yes." "Mom's leaving." Finally, 24 hours after the funeral, everything collapsed. Mom found the safety deposit box. Inside, intercepted letters, fraud documents, text messages between Brock and Alfred, Dad's account of every bruise. Mom helped Lenora escape that afternoon. The prosecutor called. There's enough to reopen Alfred's case. Brock was arrested a week later on fraud, forgery, and obstruction charges. Lenora filed for divorce. Restraining order granted. Mom split Dad's house proceeds with Lenora. 28 years, 1 funeral, justice served.